Hello, my name is Piper, and I'll be providing some post-commentary for this speedrun of the Amber Island Bridge category of My Time at Portia. So My Time at Portia was a game that was released back in early 2019. It is a sort of a life sim, farming sim type of game set in a post-apocalyptic future.
Hi.
So we play the part of the newest builder in town. This is Presley talking to us here. He is the head of the Commerce Guild. So our job here is going to be building things, helping develop the city, rebuilding, and generally improving the lives of the people who live here.
Got it. Anyway.
And Presley's going to be helping us learn basically what it takes to be a builder here. So there's going to be just a little bit of downtime here right at the start as I run over to the tree farm, because there is a chest hidden at the back of the tree farm with a valuable item in it that we can sell to get a lot of money. And having some money very early on is going to help us out a lot. So yeah, as I mentioned, this game takes place in the city-state of Portia, which is doing fairly well currently. It has, or the world in general has recovered from the apocalypse, but Mayor Gale has a lot of plans to expand the city and increase trade routes with the neighboring city-states, and generally improve life for the people who live here. So as a builder, we can do various commissions to help build things for the other residents of the city, but we also do various story missions to help out with the expansion of Portia as a whole. And the first of those missions is going to be Amber Island Bridge, the construction of a bridge over to Amber Island, giving us access to the island and the resources there. So this speedrun is sort of the fast, short speedrun for this game. It's just trying to complete that first main story mission as quickly as possible. So on my way back to my workshop here, we're going to be picking up some stone and some wood, because I'm going to need that to build my first tools. So it's not Minecraft. We can't punch down a tree. We are going to need an axe. So before we can get our builder's license, which will allow us to accept commissions for the city, we first need to prove to Presley that we know how to do a little bit of building. And before we can do that, or in order to do that, we'll need to show Presley an axe, a pickaxe, and a furnace. So right at the start here, I am making the pickaxe, and I'm going to assemble a furnace. So there's all kinds of, there's a whole tech tree that we can go through in this game. We're only going to be going through the very start of it for this category. So with a furnace and a pickaxe acquired, we're going to be running into town. We don't bother making an axe because we can actually just buy one at one of the shops. We're going to be buying the item selling the item that we picked up from the tree farm a little while back, and then running over to a shop here that sells ore, tools, and other similar equipment. So I just bought a whole bunch of stuff there that I'm going to need throughout the rest of the run. And I'll describe exactly what those do as we get to them. But first off, we're heading over to the Commerce Guild, where we're going to talk to Presley again and show him
Nice to see you.
The pickaxe that we made, the stone furnace, and also the axe that we bought, which he will be very impressed with.
After you have the... Great job. This is...
Okay, so we passed the test. And we got our builder's license, which we just need to register. So we're going to go right next door to the city hall and talk to the mayor. I believe this is the only time we're going to see Mayor Gale in this run. I don't think we're ever going to walk past him at any point later on in the run.
I'm here to register my...
Very well. Nice.
So we have to pick a name for the workshop. The default name is Workshop. So that's what we go with. So with the registered license in tow. We have to go back to Presley, and Presley is finally going to give us the first mission.
Now let me explain some based on the speed.
At the workshop.
Oh yes.
And he's just
Once you're
explaining
done
to
with
us how all the commissions and so
Anyway.
forth work.
What is it, Arlo?
Yeah, looking to...
So the mere thought.
Yeah, he figured...
Check your paws work also, and this.
Okay, so with finally having that first mission, we're going to head back to our workshop and just cut down a couple of trees on the way to finally get some more wood. Which we need. We need wood for building some things, and also for working the furnaces to smelt ore into metal that we can use to make things as well. I should point out also that for this game, this game can be played with a mouse and keyboard or with a controller. I am using a mouse, a keyboard, and a controller because there are some shortcuts on the controller that you can use to make some things go faster. Ah yes, this is the other use for wood. We have to repair the workshop here. Because until we repair it, we will start each day with less than the maximum amount of stamina, and stamina is going to be very important. So yeah, we're just going to move the bed over close to the door because I don't have time to walk all the way across my workshop. So yeah, as I was saying, I will be switching back and forth between the controller and the keyboard at various points throughout the run. Okay, so what I just did there was upgraded my axe and pickaxe. So I just made them before I'm actually going to use them much. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade them, which allows me to cut down trees more quickly. And I also actually need a bronze pickaxe to cut down these bigger trees. Because the bigger trees drop hardwood, which I'm actually going to need. I need a total of 50 hardwood to build the bridge. And cutting down all of the trees, or all of the big trees right around my workshop will give me that, will give me the hardwood I need. I got a beehive fell out of that tree. Bees sting you a little bit, but they don't do any serious damage, so just ignore them. Yeah, there is a leveling system in this game as well. A couple of trees back, I stopped to upgrade some skills. In that case, I was just putting some skill points into wood cutting, which allows me to cut down trees more efficiently, which is necessary, because otherwise I would not actually have enough stamina in this first day to cut down all of these trees. So yeah, the basic route for this game, after the start, obviously we need to talk to Presley and Gale to start the mission. Then we're going to need wood, we're going to need ore, and old parts, which we also get from the mine. So we're doing the wood cutting here. In the next full day, we're going to go mining and collect all the stuff from the mine that we need. Once we have the wood and stuff from the mine, we then have to build a couple of machines and build all the parts we need that we can finally use to build the bridge. So here I'm going to be building another couple of furnaces. Just to make things go a bit faster. Yeah, we're going to have a total of 3 furnaces. And all the money that I got from the item I was able to sell from the tree farm means that I'm actually starting with a fair bit of ore. So I'm going to be dumping a bunch of copper into those furnaces right at the start. And yeah, if you pay attention in those, like the crafting menus, you'll see like the icons that show what the buttons do. We'll be switching back and forth at various points between showing keyboard shortcuts and showing controller shortcuts. Okay, so I'm heading over to the mine now. There's a number of what the game calls abandoned ruins, where you can collect resources. But yeah, there's a chest behind that rock. You can actually get to it before breaking the rock.
Hey there.
So yeah, Remington here is going to explain to us how the abandoned ruins work. So we're only going to need the first abandoned ruin for this category. The first abandoned ruin has copper, and copper is all that we need. But we're going to be using this relic scanner here to locate relics in the mine. The only relics we care about are going to be old parts, which we need for building one of the machines that we're going to be building later. And that parts box we found had one old part in it, and we're going to need a second one, so I'm going to be doing a little bit more relic scanning here. So yeah, some of the luck that's in this speedrun is how fast you actually get this. Sometimes the old part's going to be very stubborn. Yeah, so I got the other old part I need there, so I'm good on that. And I'm able to actually buy all of the copper that I need, so the only other thing I need in the mine is actually stone. We're going to be needing to make quite a few stone bricks. And this is the fastest way I can acquire stone. You may have noticed a little bit earlier, I actually slept twice instead of once. That was intentional, because I needed to get to Friday. Because Mars, who we bought some iron, or excuse me, we bought some copper from earlier on in the run. That was the shop I visited before heading over to the Commerce Guild. Mars actually sets up a temporary shop in the abandoned ruin on certain days. And there it is. So we're going to use that to sell a couple of things to get a little bit more money. And then buy all of the remaining copper that we need for the rest of the run. So yeah, being able to sleep that extra day to be able to access that shop really speeds the run up a lot. It means I don't have to mine any copper at all. All of the copper I need, I can just buy. Okay, so just putting in the rest of the bronze that I'm going to need. And then started on some stone bricks there. So the first machine we're going to make here is going to be a grinder. And I'm going to be using the grinder for a couple of things. The first thing is just to make some copper blades, which I'm going to need a bit later on to make a cutter. Because the cutter will be necessary for making planks. Well, two things. Planks and also bronze plates, which will also be needed for the bridge. So yeah, in the run there's just going to be a little bit of a flurry of activity here. Pulling things out of these furnaces. Refueling them. Okay, so that's, I think, the last thing I need to load into those furnaces. Everything I need for the run is in there now. I did just start making some copper pipes on the grinder. That's the only other thing I need it for. So those pipes are going to be needed for the bridge. And I just made a cutter, which is the last piece of equipment I'm actually going to need to build before I build the bridge. And I just started that making hardwood planks. That's what I needed the hardwood for way back earlier on in the run. Or when I was cutting the trees earlier in the run. And yeah, we're going to be sleeping in between loading the furnace or the furnaces and the machines just so that I don't have to wait. So I just pulled the hardwood out of that cutter, started it making some bronze plates, and then went back to bed again. So that was the last time I'm going to need to sleep. So I now have bronze plates. Stone bricks are ready, those pipes are finished. So let's build a bridge. Yeah, there are 3 components we're going to need for the bridge. I'm just going to go ahead and build those. Yeah, there is a longer category for this game where I go through all of the story missions and get all the way to the point where the game plays the end credits at you. That run is around 7 hours currently. It involves seeing a lot more of the mechanics that are in the game. This run is quite short and sweet, just kind of showing off the basics. So that is Amber Island across the river from me, and we're gonna build the bridge here. Then we need to get back. Just building the bridge isn't enough. We need to actually turn in the mission. So we need to go back, but it's a long walk back, so we are gonna get some crabs to help us out here. Because combat is a mechanic in this game. And yeah, when you die in the overworld, you just wake up in front of your workshop, so that's the faster way back. And time is going to be coming up as soon as I talk to the secretary in the Commerce Guild to get credit for having completed the mission.
Excellent work.
There we go. And that was time. So yeah, that's a fun little category. That was the Amber Island Bridge category for my time at Portia. Thank you very much.